I've been meaning to make a video about bad advice that I've received in my life that I thought was really important. And I'm going to pick on two books that I read long ago, 30, 40 years ago, that changed my life. And look, I wouldn't be where I am today if I hadn't taken the advice and made the mistakes. But I just want to tell you what could have been. And I don't have any regrets, but I think I should share with you what it's about. The first one is Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, and the second one is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. So let's start with Rich Dad Poor Dad. Rich Dad Poor Dad says that you're not going to make any money if you work for anybody else. You need to work for yourself to really make a lot of money. And he says other things, but I'm just going to focus on this one point. But it's not applicable to everybody, and it wasn't applicable to me, although I thought it was, because I had a fantastic job in a very big organization, which became a multinational organization. And I had a good career path, I had good career prospects, I had good salary, I had good perks, I had good leave, and I had a very upwardly mobile job, but I left to start my own business. It was interesting because I was working on an accounting package, and I had this great idea for expanding the business. And I went to my boss and my partner, and they weren't interested. I went to the senior partner and had a 3-hour discussion with him. And he offered me coffee, and I was in his suite. It was fantastic. I thought it was fantastic, but I got a formal written warning for not following the chain of command. But the chain of command weren't interested in my idea, and it seemed like the senior partner was. So that was the only formal written warning I got in my life. It wasn't nice. And then maybe about a year later, I resigned, and my boss called me in, my boss's boss, in charge of the department, and said, what do you want? And I said, I'm leaving. But what I should have said when he said, what do you want? I should have said, well, I want to take the accounting package, and I want to firstly write a better accounting package that we could get used for everybody, not just by the clients that are using it, because it was designed specifically for them. And then I want a team of 5 people. I want to be in charge, and XYZ I want. I want a 20% increase in salary, but I said none of those things. And then I left, and a week later I went to see him, and I said, I want to do those things by myself. And he said, no, he's not interested. So one of the things I could have done as well with him is say to him, look, this is what I want to do after I leave, and engage what he said. But, I was 29 years old or 30 years old, and I wasn't really as wise as I am now. But if I hadn't left, I wouldn't be where I am now. I wouldn't have the friends I have now, wouldn't have the work I've done, I wouldn't have had the experience I had now. I might have been very rich, but I would have had a very different life. And so I don't have regrets. I don't want you to think I'm complaining. I'm just saying that if you read Rich Dad Poor Dad and you read that you should go and work for yourself, but you're in a very big company and you've got a very good career path, you've had good salary increases, you've actually done some of the things that you wanted to do, and you're getting good leave and good travel allowances and so on, then you should stay. And one guy that started his own business is Bill Gates, who became the richest man in the world, the richest person in the world perhaps. And then one of the other top 10 richest people was a guy called Steve Ballmer, who was employed by Bill Gates, who rose to the top and became a billionaire and one of the richest people in the world. So this is an example of where Rich Dad Poor Dad fails, and it fails to tell you that what I've just told you. Think and Grow Rich has got another point which is important. Napoleon Hill says that you should focus on something and you will get more of that. And that's true. That happened to me. I focused on renewable energy. I focused on environment. I focused on oil and gas. I focused on nuclear. And I got lots of offers to speak at conferences. Conference organizers would fly me to conferences, give me a VIP ticket. I never got paid to speak. I was working on that, but I got the conference. I always asked for a VIP ticket. I wanted to go to the whole conference. I wanted to go to the events. I wanted to go to the supper. I wanted to go to the awards. I wanted to get the free book. And then they paid for my travel and accommodation and transport and so on. So that was done. But the thing about that is that the book is true. The book is true. You do get more of what you want, but you don't necessarily get more money. Now, I already had a good income as a software developer. And if I had focused my attention on software development, I would have got more money in software development. But I focused my life on renewable energy, and I got more of it. Napoleon Hill was right. But I didn't ever make any money out of it. In fact, it cost me a lot of money and time. One of the reasons I did it as well was because when I was 40 years old, I thought that I wouldn't have work eventually in IT because I'd become old and unneeded. But what's actually happened is that because I've put such a lot of time into intuition and into growing myself as a person and into meditation and so on, which I can talk about, let me know if you're interested, and I'll tell you about all that, how I've developed intuition. I can work on 25 things at the same time. I've learned how to do that. And so a lot of the new technology is incredibly complex. There's a lot of things to think about. There's a lot of things to work with. And maybe younger people can't do that. So although they're more nimble, their brains are faster, maybe they just don't have the experience, or maybe they don't have the capability to work on a lot of things at the same time. So, there's a thing called unsolicited advice. And that's where someone gives you advice that you don't want. But also, you read a self-help book, and the self-help book gives you advice, and you think, well, this guy's a worldwide genius, and he sold 1 million books in 25 languages. He must know what he's talking about. But, you have to still take that advice and then see, will it work for you in your situation? It's very important. It's very important. And if you're meditating, one thing I've learned, you get inspiration in a meditation, and you think, wow, I'm going to do that, but you never ask, did that inspiration come from the good side or the bad side? So you need to do that as well. You need to really dissect whatever is given to you and decide if it's good for you in your circumstance and in your environment. Amen. Thank you.